Hello once more and welcome back to my channel back here on YouTube doing my week number 5 NFL prediction videos for the 2023 NFL predictions. Last week in week 4 I went 5-2. Brought my record to 13-15 overall, 2 games under 500, and I'm hoping week 6 I can get above 500 after week number 6 going into it. We have 7 great games this week. This week we have one division we're previewing all 4 teams in that division because they're all at 500 and there's clearly no favorites yet. But we'll talk about that here in a minute or so. So with that being said, let's get right on into it in our week number 5 NFL predictions right now here this Tuesday. Let's go, everyone. Like I said, NFL predictions, everyone, right back here on YouTube again for another week. Yeah, first matchup of the week. There it is. Image looks clear now. Jaguars and Bills, by the way, coming in. Again, in London, Jaguars, they've been there for a week. Won last week against Atlanta. This week they have the Bills coming into town, by the way. And the Bills, yeah, they come in at 3-1. Well, the Jaguars coming in 2-2. And the Jaguars, they're one of those teams I look at right now and I ask myself, what are the Jaguars doing at 2-2 when they want to win a division that they won last year? And all 4 teams in the AFC South are all at 500. We'll be talking about the other 3 in the next 2 games predictions for this week. But the Bills, they come in at 3-1. Haven't gotten in a win last week against the Dolphins, who scored 70 on the Broncos. But the Jaguars, I think the Jaguars, with being in London for more than a week already, by the time they play this game, I think the Jaguars are going to come out on top, by the way, with a win, because they've been in London for over a week now, possibly maybe over a week. Yes, tomorrow it'll be about a week, and they still have a game on Sunday morning against the Bills. And I think the Jaguars, with more experience in London, will beat the Bills this week because it's their second week playing there. But this time it's a road game for them at a different stadium, at Tottenham Stadium, wherever that stadium is in London. But I do think the Jaguars get the win on the road here in week number 3 against the Bills in London, their second home as a road team. So going with the Jaguars to get the win to go 3-2 on the year. Moving on to our next matchup. Atlanta Falcons come in against the Houston Texans. Desmond Ridder and the Falcons coming against C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. By the way, the Texans, part of the AFC South grouping, which I said, are all 2-2. No clear favorites in this division at all, unfortunately. And you look at the Texans. C.J. Stroud last week played good. Got his team their second win of the season. Falcons and Desmond Ridder, they lost to the Jaguars in London at Wembley Stadium. And they have to come home and don't get a bye week. I remember in the past, the NFL used to have teams that played in London would get a bye week the next week. Not this year. They didn't do that last year. They're not doing that this year. They have to come back and play the next week on Sunday. Come back to America. So, unfortunately, I think the Falcons, from their long trip overseas, might be kind of tired. And unfortunately, I think that's going to cost them a win this week at home. I'm taking the Texans and C.J. Stroud this week, the rookie quarterback out of Ohio State. I'm taking them on the road in Atlanta, since Falcons might be a little, might not have their legs back from being overseas in London. Moving on from this matchup. Going into our next matchup in Indianapolis. Again, the AFC South is in the picture, with the Indianapolis Colts at 2-2, and the Tennessee Titans, who come in at 2-2 as well. Like I said, yeah, all 4 teams in the division. AFC South, 2-2. That's good. That's an interesting question mark. I know it's only 4 games, but the big picture is who's going to win at the end of the weekend. Potentially, they have at least one of the teams in the AFC South this week with a 3-2 record after the weekend, and 2 of them might be. One of them might be 3-2, the other ones might be 2-3, or you might have 2 3-2 teams, and 1 2-3 team, or you might have 3 teams at 3-2 and 1 team at 2-3. So that's a big question mark for 4 teams in the division who are all 500 at the moment. And up Tennessee and Ryan Tannehill, their quarterback, they've won the division in the past. They were the number 1 seed a few years ago, lost in the first round in the first few years back. But it's Titans. They know how to win. The Indianapolis Colts is a team that has lots of question marks. Anthony Richardson, a rookie quarterback. Unfortunately, I think he's going to have question marks. I think he's going to have to make big plays this week. I think the Colts make a game out of this, and I think the Colts will get the win here on Sunday with Anthony Richardson. I think the rookie quarterback will do all out Ryan Tannehill, the veteran, and get a win at home this week in week number 5. Yeah, and if you can hear that noise behind me, and it's 10 a.m. in my hometown, the first Tuesday of October, which means, yeah, they have to test the tornado sirens. So, if you can hear that in the background, don't worry about it. There's nothing wrong. They're just testing them. First Tuesday of the month. Next up, Baltimore Ravens 3-1. Going to Pittsburgh, play the Steelers this week. Steelers and Ravens. Ravens, Lamar Jackson has a pretty good team, 3-1. And the Steelers coming in with Kenny Pickett, who did get hurt, I saw. Not sure if he's going to play this week, unfortunately. Ravens, they're coming in at 3-1. They're the clear favorites in this division. The Bengals, unfortunately, which everyone thought should be the team that wins the division. I thought the Bengals were going to be the number 1 seed through this year. But Joe Burrow, his issues with injuries this year are thus bothering the Bengals, and they still can't score an offensive touchdown. They scored a special teams touchdown, but that's not going to help. And they scored offensive touchdowns last week. The Ravens and Lamar Jackson coming into Pittsburgh against the Steelers, and whoever starts at quarterback, I think the Ravens have the clear chance to take the win and are the favorites this week in this matchup. Surprisingly, only because you're without your quarterback. Kenny Pickett possibly, but that's why. But the Ravens, I think Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, they'll get the job done. He makes plays. They're going to win this week. Ravens going on the road to Pittsburgh to get a win in Pittsburgh on Sunday. So far this week, I'm going road heavy. Road team is the favorites this week for me, unfortunately. Which, it might hurt me in the predictions at the end of the day, but I don't care about that. And maybe it doesn't hurt me, who knows. Next matchup, in LA, Philadelphia Eagles, 4-0 against the Los Angeles Rams. Yeah, and here's the deal. I'll say this. Since there's still 2 4-0 teams in the league, the Eagles and 49ers, I'm going to predict their games until they lose games at least. Don't be concerned about that. But Eagles going to Los Angeles this week to play a game. It's going to be one of those games. Going to LA, Rams last week picked up a loss. I believe played a close game against the Colts, and unfortunately, I think they lost last week. I don't remember. That wasn't one of the games I picked. But the Eagles coming in 4-0. Jalen Hurts has a pretty good offense. He has great receivers around him, great players, running backs, DeAndre Swift, who can run the ball a bit, and a lot of other players on the Eagles. Eagles are so good this year. The defending AFC champions, they're going to be good this year for a great amount of periods, I think. For Eagles, the only question is when they get to Dallas is what's going to hurt. But this week they have the Rams, and unfortunately, the Rams might not have Matthew Stafford, so a second team in a row without their starting quarterback this week is going to be the interesting storyline in the matchup. Unfortunately, I'm taking the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. Sorry, Rams fans. Without your quarterback, Matthew Stafford, I don't think you get the win. I'm giving the win to the Eagles and Jalen Hurts without Matthew Stafford playing if he doesn't play this week. So, Eagles go on the road to LA, get the win, go to 5-0, I think. Next up on the list, yes, the game that was a little controversial last year in the postseason at the end of the year, as the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott going into San Francisco to play the 49ers and Brock Purdy, who are also 4-0 in this division. Another 4-0 team, yeah, one of the last 2 remaining. And I'll just say this, the 49ers coming in 4-0, they have a good team. And unfortunately, they are going to have to play great football this year to get wins. And the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, this is a game last year they lost in the AFC divisional round. A game they lost in the divisional round last year, unfortunately. And you look at it, last year, the last play of the game, last year against the 49ers, they lined up Ezekiel Elliott, who's no longer with the Cowboys, as a center, and he snapped the ball to Prescott and then went downfield to try to make a catch, and guess what? Prescott was sacked, unfortunately, by the 49ers defense. And the 49ers got the win to go to the NFC Championship game to Philadelphia, where they eventually lost, which was our first game we predicted. It was the last 4-0 team to get the win against the Rams. Here's the deal, though. I think the 49ers coming in, they're going to play great football. Brock Purdy has a 9-0 record, plus 9+ wins in the regular season as a starter since taking over. They haven't lost a game since he took over as a starting quarterback, and maybe being the last pick in the draft, maybe he will be the best quarterback in the league someday. This week, I'm going to take the 49ers because they have so many weapons. They have George Kittle, tight end, one of the top tight ends in the league, not the highest paid. T.J. Hawkinson out of Minnesota, who was George Kittle's teammate there back in Iowa for a few years, is the highest paid tight end. I don't think they were on the team at the same time, though. Yeah, and then the 49ers also have Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, who can run the ball, who can catch anywhere. Christian McCaffrey caught like 3 touchdown passes last week from Brock Purdy. Yeah, the 49ers are a scary good team. Cowboys, I think, after beating the Patriots pretty good. Unfortunately, I think the Cowboys come in and they lose to the 49ers on the road this week, which sends us to our next game on Monday Night Football. Yeah, this game's on ABC for some reason. The Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love at 2-2, going into Las Vegas this week. And the question is, I think that's going to surround this game is Jimmy Garoppolo. I saw he was in concussion protocol. I think he missed last week. I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure he missed last week's game. And unfortunately, it's the Raiders and Packers, this matchup. Jordan Love, he's 2-2 so far in his career, not elite yet. Not Aaron Rodgers' replacement Packers fans wanted. He has a 2-2, 1-1 record at home as starting quarterback. This week going to Vegas, I think he's going to have a better chance. The Packers are going to play great this week. The Raiders, Aiden O'Connell was supposed to be their backup quarterback to Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know if he started last week at all. But if he does start this week, or whichever quarterback the Raiders start, I don't know how they're going to do against the Packers and Jordan Love and the Packers' offense and defense. This game might be one of those games that might be low scoring, I think, unfortunately, this week. So, that's what I think. I'm going to take the Packers, though, and Jordan Love on the road, getting his second big road win. His first big road win against the Bears, a team that the Packers have owned in the last 13 times. But I'm going to take the Packers, go to 3-2, and pick Jordan Love in Green Bay to get a win this week on Monday night next week. With that being said, here's a quick recap of who I'm picking this week. First of all, taking Jaguars over the Bills in London, as I think the Jaguars, since they've been over in London for over a week, by the time they play the game, I think they're going to win against the Bills. In Atlanta, I'm taking the Houston Texans and C.J. Stroud over the Falcons and Desmond Ridder after the Falcons had come back and play a game after coming back from London. In Indianapolis, I'm taking the Colts and rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson over the Titans and Ryan Tannehill. In Pittsburgh, I'm taking the Ravens and Lamar Jackson over the Steelers and whoever starts at quarterback. In LA, I'm taking the Eagles and Jalen Hurts over the Rams. Whoever starts for quarterback in LA is Stafford and Pickett for the Steelers, and Rams both injured from what I saw. In San Francisco, I'm taking Brock Purdy and the 49ers over the Cowboys and Dak Prescott this week after the Cowboys got a big win 2 days ago against the Patriots. And in Las Vegas, our last game, which is on Monday night, I'm taking the Packers and Jordan Love on the road in Vegas to get the win. So there you are. That's the Week 5 NFL prediction video. Please comment below who your favorite team is playing and if you think they'll win this week. And with that being said, I hope everyone enjoys today's video. And please remember to watch, like, subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends to do the same if they have not done so yet already. And also, hit that notification button below so when there's a new video as well on the channel. With that being said, quick update. Week 6 prediction video will be out next Tuesday. Unfortunately, I'll be doing it a different way. I'll just use a notebook for the video because I'll be traveling. So I'll film that on Sunday and get that out on Tuesday for you all because I'll be on vacation. No Week 5 pick recap video. I won't have a recap video for Week 5 on how I did. I'll do that next for week number 6, which will be the video I pre-record on Sunday and post next Tuesday. So those are the little updates and changes for next week. With that being said, I hope everyone enjoys the day and has a nice day. Stay safe. And I'll see you next time, everyone. Bye for now and stay safe out there.